I've been thinking a lot in 2023 about fundamental strategic matters, more than at any time since the beginning of Extinction Rebellion. My work was mainly focused on refining and enhancing an established civil resistance model of how to cause trouble effectively. The basic frame was, look, let's work together to create a massive, non-violent disruption and push the state into making big reductions in carbon emissions. We were pushing up against a boulder called the carbon regime. Now, like Sisyphus, I see that we were doomed to watch it roll back into our faces. In 2024, I'm working on a profoundly different framing. It goes something like this. Look, the carbon regime has totally fucked up, so the climate crisis is now locked in. We don't need to create massive social disruption because it's going to happen anyway. The regime will collapse under the weight of its own contradictions. So what's next? We need to build the next civilization and stop fascism from taking us to terminal hell. It's a bit long, but you get the idea. That's the job, like it or not. You might want to stay doing your little thing in the world, but greatness is about to be thrust upon you. As Trotsky said, you might not be interested in war, but war is interested in you. Some have the privilege to ignore this reality, at least for the moment. But in 2023, the signs were all around us. The situation in Gaza shines a light on the complete moral idiocy of the old paradigm of violence and retribution. It's overwhelmingly obvious that what comes next cannot be more of that. Similarly, the latest COP makes 1984 look like kids' play. Let's destroy millions of lives, but dress it up as a nice, sensible discussion. Lastly, I sat through an absurd 4-week climate trial where the judiciary was simply unable to confront the enormity of what we faced. Humanity's destruction through carbon emissions was totally off the cards. So much for intelligence. But we know all this, so the point is, what's next? For me, the new central concept is balance, which sounds moderate, hence why it has a wide appeal. In the present context, in which everything is so imbalanced and getting exponentially worse, the notion of balance becomes a necessarily and paradoxically revolutionary idea. A balanced revolution, as theorized by Edmund Burke and Thomas Paine, is actually against revolution, in the sense that it's against the uprooting of human connection by psychotic utopian projects, whether they be communist, fascist, or neoliberal. Over the year, I'll outline different aspects of a balanced revolution as I get more ideas about how to do it, from working on practical designs, for example, how to hold public assemblies, how to door knock, how to stand in elections, how to create functional ethical control systems. As always with what I do, it's about turning theory into practice and practice into theory. The mission is to empower people to see the big picture, one that transcends the traditional categories of politics, economics, social connection, and spirituality in favour of a new fusion of confrontation and dialogue. At this time of total crisis, new social formations need an overarching and uncompromising ideology. What we create over the next decade has to be a credible national and international entity. Think early Christian church, but without the crappy bits. That can give us a real shot at survival. A big part of the project is to bring on the leadership of the younger generation, so they, in turn, can take their generation through the upcoming turmoil with a degree of intelligence and grace. If you're interested in leadership and support, sign up for my upcoming talks, where I'll lay out the plan ahead and you can ask me about where we go from here. Together we can lead humanity out of this mess. It may be too late, of course, in which case, so be it. But it may not be. And my intuition, for what it's worth, is we ain't seen nothing yet, both in a negative and a positive sense. Many of us don't want to go gently into that extinct night. The collapse of society means that revolution is now inevitable. Transformation is coming, and it's up to us to guide it. That's the light bulb realization, that light comes out of the dark. I wish you all a bright new year, whatever it may bring. Thanks for listening to this. You can find more at rogerhallam.com.